A very interesting secret meeting took place last weekend on Saturday in Gatanga constituency. Now I want us to focus on the two main attendees, which were David Murathe and a man called Musalia. There is a third name who was present at that meeting that I would like to mention in passing. But my mentioning them in passing does not mean that their presence was insignificant. Far from it, it was very significant. That is why, despite the fact that several people attended this meeting, over a dozen, I have decided to mention this third one apart from the two main characters. That name is Captain Kungo Muigai. Now, Captain Muigai is a cousin to the President of the Republic of Kenya. He's a cousin to Uhuru. And also is a de facto spokesperson of the Kenyatta family. Keep that at the back of your mind as we proceed. Now officially, David Murathe, who is very close to the President, one of his most influential advisors, and Vice Chair of the Jubilee Party, brushed off the meeting as insignificant. Don't read anything into it, he told the press. Now their meeting on Saturday lasted slightly over 7 hours. But Bwana Murathe insinuated that they were catching up. And he did this by telling the press that actually they went to the same school, the same high school. Now some journalists have concluded that that high school was St. Mary's here in Nairobi. And they've further gone on to say that even the President attended the same school. Now, we are all human, we make mistakes. I make mistakes many times on this channel. And apparently this fellow journalist of mine made a mistake. Because the truth is, Musalia has never been to St. Mary's School. In fact, both Murathe and Mudavadi attended a school in Nairobi, a national school very well known, called Nairobi School. The President, of course, went to St. Mary's. That was the official story. So let's move on to the unofficial story. What actually happened behind the scenes. By the way, Bwana Murathe's response of downplaying this meeting was very normal. This is politics. And the weighty issues they were discussing, it is not in their interests to have it all revealed in the media. So the right play was to keep it under wraps, which is exactly what Bwana Murathe did. So, what were they actually discussing? Multiple sources have confirmed that actually the meeting dwelt a lot on Musalia Mudavadi's political profile in Central Province. Now, that fact alone should hit anybody in the head like a sledgehammer. Why? Because of the implications. Let me ask you a simple question. If you heard that there was a meeting with a very high profile Jubilee character, and the agenda of that meeting was to discuss Chris Kumekucha's political profile in Central Province, what conclusion would you come to? And if you're still lost, let me ask another question. What political office would make somebody's profile in Central Province, not in a particular constituency, the whole of Central Province? What political office would make a profile, a candidate's profile in Central Province important? There is only one office. President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, just the other day, President Uhuru Kenyatta said his choice of successor would shock most Kenyans. Now, I know I'm delivering very heavy blows very quickly. But I beg you, just hold on to those thoughts and let's move on to the other information that came out of this extraordinary meeting. Extraordinary secret meeting. This meeting, which went beyond midnight, was mainly based on a single question. And I believe some of the words I'll use were the exact words used. And this is the question. Musalia Mudavadi, as far as Central Province is concerned, people know of him. Okay? They do not know him. Translation into Kiswahili, wanamsikianga tu, hawamjui. And so, the main agenda was how do we move from a situation where people know of Musalia Mudavadi to a situation where people in Central Province, the entire Central Province, know Musalia Mudavadi very well. How do you move from one to the other? Well, the meeting concluded that what was going to happen going forward is that Musalia Mudavadi would launch immediately some low-key appearances within Central Province. These low-key appearances would include things like church attendance. You attend a church service, no big deal. You're introduced to the congregation, maybe say one or two words, etc., etc. And then the meeting concluded, from next year, this campaign, because really it's a campaign, would move high profile. Now, even if this information was not verified, this is something that would be very believable to me on the spot. Why? Because there's a history here. Let me quickly take you back to 2013. When President Mwai Kibaki was leaving office, he chose a successor. Mwai Kibaki's choice was in fact Musalia Mudavadi. And the same words that were used then, I understand were used in Saturday's meeting. Yes, Mudavadi was referred to as a safe pair of hands to hand over power to. Non-controversial, non-vindictive, non-emotional, very safe pair of hands to hand over power to. So what happened? Well, most of us know, and it is in one name. DP William Ruto, or at the time, William Samoei Ruto, happened. He did some political maneuvering and political acrobatics, that changed the equation very quickly. And looking back, it was not difficult to achieve, because Mwai Kibaki's plan, a crucial part of Mwai Kibaki's plan to ensure that Musalia Mudavadi would succeed him, involved Uhuru Kenyatta. And Uhuru Kenyatta was supposed to throw his weight fully behind Musalia Mudavadi. Ruto craftily spun this so that it looked like Uhuru Kenyatta was stepping down for Musalia Mudavadi. And he spread this word right across Central Province and incited Central Province so that things got very hot for Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, Central Province legislators and politicians at the time threatened Uhuru Kenyatta. Wewe, jaribu ku step down. Jaribu. Loose translation, we dare you to step down for Musalia. And when all this was going down, Ruto emerged from the wings and presented his plan. He said he would get Rift Valley for the president, and all he had to do was to abort the plan to step down for Musalia. Now everybody knows that part of the story, but the next part of the story, very few people know, and it is very significant for our purposes today. Many people in Kenya believe that Musalia Mudavadi's reaction to all this was that he walked off in a huff, and conducted a presidential campaign on his own. That was around the time the Amani Congress was formed, Mudavadi's political party. And he vied on the presidency, for the presidency, on that ticket. But actually, that is not what happened. What happened is that a deal was made that Musalia Mudavadi continues with his campaign. For what purpose? The whole idea was to reduce Raila Odinga votes in Western. The calculations that the Ruto team made was that if Raila Odinga was to sweep the whole of Western Kenya, which looked like it would happen, then it would be very difficult, for the Uhuru Ruto team to defeat him in the presidential elections. Now, if you don't believe this, go back and do a little research, and you'll notice something very curious. Musalia Mudavadi's presidential campaigns were all focused, all of them without fail, were focused in Western Kenya. Now, that is rather strange for somebody who wants to win a presidency. How do you focus in one area of the country? One area of the country, no matter how populous, no matter how vote-rich, cannot take you to State House, and that's obvious. Yes, it was a deal, and this is why it is not so difficult to imagine that a pact could have been made. What kind of pact? Very simple. You help me now, I will help you later. And that later seems to be now, right now. Now, of course, the immediate question would be, where does Raila Odinga come in all this? Is the president making a move behind the back of his twin brother, Raila Odinga? That is extremely unlikely. And if this is true, then it means that Musalia Mudavadi would actually get a through pass. Because with the backing of Central Province and the backing of Raila Odinga, that is enough to sail through very smoothly into State House, whatever your position is, even if the person vying against you is called William Samoei Ruto. Now, before I go, let me just say that there's always a first time for something. Why do I say there's always a first time for something? Because in Kenya, a president naming a successor who successfully succeeded them has never happened. In 2002, retired President Daniel Arap Moi chose Uhuru Kenyatta as his successor. It didn't work. In 2012, President Kibaki chose Musalia Mudavadi as his successor. It didn't work. Fast forward to the present. It is rapidly emerging that President Uhuru Kenyatta has in fact chosen Musalia Mudavadi as his successor. Will it fail yet again? Well, as I said, there's always a first time. And besides, Musalia has experience. He has been named as a successor before and it didn't work out. So this is the second time. So hopefully he will correct on the mistakes he made last time. That saw the presidency taken away from him. But even more telling was the advice that Musalia Mudavadi was given on Saturday. He was told he had better want it badly enough. Now, this is super interesting because the last time, in 2013, many blamed Musalia and criticized him for missing the golden opportunity to be president. And what did they blame it on? They said he did not want it badly enough. And that was the reason why William Ruto succeeded in snatching it away from him. What? So right now, he's being told the same thing. You had better want it badly enough. Now, this is getting fascinating. Wapi zile popcorn? I'm telling you, Kenyan politics, movie kando. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.